igcse Computer Science 0478 Paper 2 Testing. Write an algorithm to input three different numbers and then output the largest number. Use either pseudocode or a flowchart. So we can use pseudocode or a flowchart. A good answer would be could be this or this. I prefer to use this one because this is just shorter. So input num1, this will be set as big, and then input the other two numbers num2 and num3. If num2 is bigger than big, then this becomes big. And if and if and if num3 is bigger than big, then big becomes num3. And then in the end, print big. So num1, if this didn't happen and this didn't happen, then num1 would be biggest. Else, if this happened, then num2, or if this happened, then num3. Okay, and give two sets of test data to use with your algorithm in part A, and explain why you chose each set. So for example, we could one test data set and two test data sets. First one is could be 30, 29 and 28. These are all numbers, and these aren't letters or anything. And first number is the largest, so that would be printed. And the second test data, x, y and z are letters and are called abnormal data and should be rejected. Okay, next question. Check the size and weight of a single parcel. So each parcel has must obey some rules, and those rules are each dimension must be no more than 80 centimeters. The sum of the three dimensions must not be more than 200. The weight of the parcel must be between 1 and 10 kilograms inclusive, so including 10 and 1, between those or including. Input and store the weight and dimensions for one parcel. They must be validated and must be correct. If not, then they are rejected. So output if the parcel is correct or not. I mean, if it's accepted or rejected. If rejected, then we'll say all the reasons why it was rejected. So we're giving three sets of test data. So first set could be 30, 29, 28 and 4, because no length, no dimension is more than 80 and the weight is between 1 and 10. Here this is boundary, this is normal data, and this is boundary because this is exactly on the boundary. The highest one is 80 and the sum is 200 of the dimensions and the weight is 10, so it's boundary at the edge. And this is abnormal because weight is more than 10 and one dimension is more than 80, it's 85. Right. For this question, a data logger records the temperature twice a day on the roof of the school, once at midday and once at midnight. The temperatures are recorded for a month, and you must store temperatures in two arrays into one-dimensional arrays, one for the midday and one for the midnight temperatures. All the temperatures must be validated on entry, and any invalid temperatures must be rejected. We make our own validation rules. We assume that there are 30 days in a month. So examples of test data could be 30, 29, 28, and all these numbers, they are normal because they're accepted. But numbers like 20 in letters and 17 and these types of symbols, and writing the numbers in letter form, and these also, because they're out of the boundary 501 and minus 273, and this is under the boundary under 24 degrees, so these are rejected and they're abnormal. This is rejected because this is under the boundary of 24 degrees Celsius, and this is very low, and this is very high. This is above the boundary a lot, and this is under. This question, okay, for this question, setting up arrays and storing data and storing records. So we store age of each student, the schoolhouse of each student, and the reaction time of each student. So we're putting three different types of test data to test the validation on the age. This is for the age, and we're validating the age. Um, so there are three. One, two, three. Give an example of for each type. Give an example of appropriate data. So three different types of data could be erroneous and boundary and normal, and we should give an appropriate example of the data like erroneous and normal and boundary. So for normal, for normal type of valid data, it could be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. For erroneous, abnormal, invalid, it could be 13.5 or 12 or 9, because this is under the minimum. Boundary, accepted, 12 or 16. So 12 is the lower boundary, this is the upper one, and boundary rejected, this is under the lower than the minimum number, and this is higher than 16. And extreme data, 12 or 16, which is the maximum or the minimum. Thank you.